Hello, I'm Toycat, and this is a woodland mansion, one of the biggest naturally generated structures in Minecraft, and I think it's one that will look just a little better in pink. And after looking, how can you not agree that this thing is a beauty? One I'm going to have to build. I'm going to say it's for you, but really it'll be for me. And so, hello, I'm Toycat, and today I'm going to be building a structure from scratch, but it's not just going to be a pink woodland mansion in the same way that I built this desert temple with the fun twist of it being a, triangle point. So it's got this third tower back here. I think that adds to the structure, even if it's in a very weird way. And also it has the twist of being made from diorite. And oh god, let's get out of here and start talking about how my cherry woodland mansion is going to be different, because I want to build what used to be Minecraft's biggest structure, but in a way that is slightly more reasonable and also slightly more fun. And it's going to be to the same triangle angle, because triangles can be actually quite hard, but today I'm going to try and simplify it down and also have way more fun than what would otherwise just be, let's build a giant square out of cherry planks, because this is going to be the base of a mansion, right? But instead today we get to work out what might be a very different shape, because to go triangular means we can't just go perfectly diagonal here. I think a triangle that is actually perfect like this would not be perfect, because even though diagonal lines exist in Minecraft, they create some very weird things. We get a very, very shallow woodland mansion, and I like my woodland mansions to be able to hold a conversation, which is why I'm going to instead move it just a little bit deeper and go like this and then that, and have myself kind of an equilateral triangle sort of an angle, i.e. to say each of the sides should be about the same angle from each other. That's near impossible to actually do in Minecraft, but this should give us a good approximation and should also give us a really nice interior space to play around with. And play around with that interior space I will, because I figure I'll use the other brand new wood type, the bamboo plank, to take full advantage of that interior space and make it a complementary color to the pink. I think pink and yellow work so well. It's banana and strawberry. It's it's Mercedes, Lamborghini and a Ferrari. That's right, they're definitely yellow and pink respectively. Having different colors to play around with is fun, and I do think yellow and pink just so perfectly complement each other, which is why I'll be having yellow planks to be my interior to kind of match that dark and light that you get from the birch and the the dark oak with the woodland mansion. I'll be doing the exact same thing with the yellow and the pink, which should be real beautiful. But for now, I think we need to build the outside structure and really get a feel for the scale we'll be building at, and also make sure that this doorway is balanced between it. I think too often people can start building something and make it way too big for them to ever finish, and although having big unfinishable projects is kind of fun sometimes, it's much more important to have something that you really feel like at some point you will have done, because then you'll want to do the steps towards it. One of the hardest things to admit to yourself is that yes, the biggest and best ideas sometimes are impossible to do on any realistic time frame. Sometimes it's fun to attempt them anyway, but sometimes you just need to admit that yeah, that isn't going to work. And so here we have the rough size of our triangle woodland mansion. We are going to have multiple stories, so this is really going to add up. But yeah, already this is like a fair amount of space that will include some horses and chickens apparently, but we need to make sure that it actually looks good once we meet these 2 points together at the end over there. And so you know what that means, it's the fun speed placey time. And now we have it, a giant triangle, which is going to be filled in with a multi-story mansion. So already you can see there's a lot of work to be done here, but I kind of like it. I also have to work out how the room layout's going to work. In a normal woodland mansion, the corridors are all straight, but I think in this one we're going to have to deliberately make some of them diagonal to actually be able to see all the room. And so let's build that part of the structure first. That is a very nice hallway that actually maximizes the floor space of this, because obviously triangle walls do not lead to the best outcomes, but also we need to leave a space for a staircase to the second floor, which I guess we could do on this side over here, and so that is going to require a lot more bamboo planks, if you want to see how I'm getting those, as well as some carpet. Allow me to take my big box of torches with me and show you my insane bamboo farm. I feel like a lot of people saw this from a recent short, but yeah, I set this up a long time ago, back when bamboo was near useless to have, and it was just kind of a silly thing to build. It would be like if Minecraft made sugarcane useful because you could build it into sugarcane blocks. I'd be a little bit stunned. What would I do with all my actually now useful sugarcane? And so yeah, there is so much sugarcane being collected here. It's like a genuine problem, but I guess it's the best type of genuine problem, so I'm not going to complain too much. Honestly, given the way that bamboo has mostly been used for sticks and then they made it magically into something that could be a block, it's something that gets me thinking quite a bit bit about the very way that basically any block in Minecraft could be made into a block of itself. There is bamboo now, so why not a sugarcane block is an obvious question, but I immediately jump into the more, serious ones, like what about rotten flesh blocks? That seems like a good decision. What if you could take 9 raw beef and combine them together into a cow? I think that would make just as much sense as some of the ones that we have, and so even though I'm not going to be in charge of Minecraft anytime soon, what about 9 mushrooms to make a mushroom block? What about 9 red mushrooms to make a red mushroom block? Or even using the fungus to make the actual, warped Nillium blocks. There are so many cool examples of what you could do by combining 9 things together, and I'm just saying Minecraft, if you ever need someone, but specifically just to make the one part of the game where blocks come together, I am going to be your guy. By the way, I've checked every single shulker box that I own, and I can't find the one I put all my carpets into, which is a problem because I put a lot of carpets into there. However, the good news is there's one very easy place to find large numbers of carpets, and that is itself a woodland mansion. And so we come in here and we can take it all up with our fist. Honestly, this is one of those annoying things where, technically speaking, the best way to get carpet up would be with shears. Look how fast this is by comparison. Actually, it feels like it's about the same time, even with efficiency, but I'm gonna save my shears and just use my pork chop instead and hope we don't get destroyed from behind. And yeah, I'm not gonna take up too many carpets because of the scale difference, but I will be taking some of these windows too, because actually, we could probably do with some of those. Oh, the guys here don't seem to care about me. That is very interesting. I guess once you clear out a woodland mansion enough times, they stop noticing. Honestly, Minecraft Bedrock AI has one of the weirdest sets of issues I've ever seen. Sometimes mobs are over-aggressive, and sometimes they forget that you're meant to be an enemy. Or maybe I've just done so many atrocities to villagers that at this point, the Vindicator's like, I'm pretty sure you're an arsehide at this point. In which case, you're welcome. Thank you. Glad to help out. Anyway, time to get back to the mansion, which I realized from above looks suspiciously like a pizza slice right now. So I've worked out a very rough floor plan now, and the only key question is how I'm going to work on a second floor, and I figured, given that I've been bringing around this box full of end stone bricks with me anyway, it might be a fun fit. Given that the regular woodland mansion uses cobblestone, maybe end stone is the logical evolution. Or maybe it's not, but either way I figured it'd be fun to try. So that means that for our entrance, for example, we'll be using end stone instead of cobblestone, and I think it's a good fit for the color scheme. And so now we can have stairs going up to the second floor. We can kind of pick how high it should be. I really don't know what a regular woodland mansion is, but it feels like about 5 blocks, which means that's what I feel like this should be roughly. Actually, wait, the windows are 4 blocks high, and they're 1 block off the ground, so the minimum we need to do is 5 blocks. Yes, let's do that, and then, not a lot higher. I think if we go too high on this thing, it will look ridiculous in terms of height to width. If it's not a perfect recreation of the dimensions, then we might as well take some liberties there. And so now we have a whole second floor worth of structuring too, which is basically going to be a clone, but the opposite of this first floor, going right next to the walls on which it is based, which is quite fun in my opinion. We're going to have a hallway going this way round, but it'll be for the second floor, and so let's work on that now. And now we just need to work out a secret staircase to the 3rd floor, because every single woodland mansion has one of these weird 3rd floors to them. Some are huge, some are tiny, but either way, I think we should build it so that we kind of curve round this little triangle, which should be very easy to do, I say, before having done it. So we'll place some of these blocks, and then we'll stair up onto a block. I guess it should be multiple bits wider, so 3 blocks wide again, and then stair up onto another 3 blocks. This then is going to become 2 blocks wide because we hit the wall, and then that brings us up again, and then this is going to be a natural breaking point where we turn to this direction, and oh dear god, okay, this is all fine, trust me. Then we place more blocks there, build up of that, more blocks here, build up of that, and then this is going to be the 3rd floor, and I don't know how big it's going to be yet, because the key thing is we need to build the walls for this before anything else. Right now, this looks like a big mess, because although floor planning is important, I love to imagine floor plans for hypothetical houses, I think what's more important is being able to actually see where the walls are, so this all makes some sense. So we're going to be doing an insane amount of cherry plank placing right now. When I say now, I actually mean after I've taken my bed from the desert well area. My god, is this a beautiful part of the world. And then bring it back home so I can actually sleep at night, which should be nice and easy. I don't see any good reason why I can't. Okay, so now is the opportunity for me to go ahead and do one of those fun, crazy build moments. I just love to see a huge amount of progress done quickly, and when you have an easy to repeat design like this, it can actually be quite easy to do, so let's do it. So the build is getting much clearer, but I'm also getting to that phase in a project where I'm like, oh god, how will any of this get finished? I feel like when working on big projects, it's really important to stay focused on small tasks that will eventually lead to the end, and right now, there's a few things obviously missing. There's windows, there's some form of actual floor in between this and the rooms up here, and most importantly, there's the third floor. If we separate it into 3 basic tasks, the bare minimum to be at a finished structure, you can see how much easier things will start to be, and I think that's always important. If you ever are working on a project, rather than having something that looks half finished and indeed has a lot of really overbuilt stuff and underbuilt things, it's better to have the bare minimum done first, which is why I'm going to build myself some lovely windows, which are going to go between, I believe, some cherry wood facing outwards on this side and indeed on this side. Now we can place the little pillars, which will go next to it. It's really annoying placing sideways wood because it's not based on the orientation that you're facing, it's based on the block you place it off, but as you can see, 3 little pillars on the side, and now we have a very clear window. Do the same over here, and we'll have a very nice little front of the building. I feel like one of the things that makes most big builds ugly is how homogeneous some of the blocks can get. Having a big just blob of cherry wood is not as fun as when we mix in, say, some of these, and indeed when we mix in some of the end stone bricks, which are going to make the entryway into this, so we need to place some of those around here. I think end stone bricks was a wacky decision, but it is just about working because we're sticking to it, and indeed now we have the windows and the front just about finished. Now we just need to add some clear styling over here. We place 1 stair over there, 1 stair over here, and then 1 stair facing this way, and it makes this lovely little... Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. Just wonderful. And also, it's important to have some cherry logs, which are going to be facing from the side inwards here. So again, Minecraft blocks, very weird, kind of annoying how you have to place them, but just like that. And then the same on this side to guarantee that we have kind of like a railing above the window. Actually, should we leave it going all the way above rather than... Yeah, I think that's much nicer. So there we go. That is the front of our woodland mansion for the Cherryland mansion, our Cherry Grove mansion, our Groveland mansion, if you will. And so now we're just missing the second floor, which we can build up now. Annoyingly, we'll have to do the exact same technique on the sides of the windows. Again, I would really love if Minecraft would make up its mind if it's based on, some blocks are based on the position you're facing and some are based on what you place off. I wish they could just pick one to be all blocks. Is that just me? Is that something that people actually love the way that it is? Because for wood, it always gets me the wrong way. I'm used to redstone where it's meant to be one way, and I don't even use redstone that often. It just feels like the more intuitive system, but there we go. We've now built a thing, and we just have to bridge across here. And now, all of a sudden, it's starting to look a lot more like a real structure. Although the real structure has much higher walls, and so it's time to build those up once again. And then, of course, the main part, which is the roof, because as much as I prefer my buildings without them, technically speaking, a wooden mansion has one, and so I've made myself some cherry stairs, and I'm going to be using so many of them. This is one of the few parts I haven't even considered. How will it work when we get to the corners? Let's work it out when we get there, I guess. Okay, so this part seems quite easy. I'm just going to move the staircase so it faces this way. Boom, very simple. And then we go around here, and then I guess at some point we turn inwards. And then we go over here, but then we go in around again. Yeah, I guess we just have to have a lot of curves, but this will work quite easily. But then how does the second layer work above this? Because obviously, we don't just have one layer of roof for a wooden mansion, we have a second layer above that. And then this one is a bit more confusing, because obviously some of the gaps that it creates are going to get narrower and narrower. And so I guess we'll just see how this looks. Okay, technically speaking, it is working. It's a very, very, very oddly shaped roof, but it is gonna work, and we're gonna see what this looks like as we expand it to the rest of the mansion. I think one of the scariest feelings you can get while doing just about anything is the fear that, like, wait, am I doing something so horrifically wrong that everyone can see? And it's one of the most annoying human fears to me because it strikes in all sorts of parts of life. Have you ever been, at a restaurant or like trying to walk in somewhere and immediately you just kind of have to like vaguely walk towards the center because there's no like stand saying like, oh, you should let us seat you, and you're worried that it's the sort of place you're meant to sit yourself, but if it isn't the sort of place where you're meant to sit yourself, they'll look at you really weirdly for doing so. Honestly, there are so many situations in life where everyone acts like it's very obvious what to do, but it's actually not obvious unless you've done something before, which makes sense because most people are repeating stuff that they've done at some point in their life. We've all gone to a cinema at some point. We've all gone on a plane at some point, or train or something, but actually every single day someone is doing that for the first time. One of the things that a lot of friends like ask me for help with is like, okay, I'm going to the airport, what actually happens? Like, I know there's lots of processes and security, but like, what actually happens between me going to the airport and getting on the plane? And it's like, oh, let me tell you the fun steps that happen that everyone just assumes that you have to know. And I feel the same way about like in certain stores. It's not really obvious at all how the line system works, is it? If there's like 3 cashiers and there's no line to line up in, do you line up between the cashiers, or do you like, pick and commit one? And again, you might cause a whole, also, I clearly got this wrong, you might cause a whole issue if you get it slightly wrong, despite the fact that there's basically no way of knowing. I feel like this is like my least favorite thing in society. Same with, this is an odd one. Maybe it's just me, but you ever go to like a fast food restaurant without one of the touch screens, which is now the norm, by the way, thank God. But you just go up and they're like, so what do you want? And you're like, I don't know. I would like to see what you sell. And they're like, oh, you come into a fast food restaurant, you don't even know what you want already? And it's like, yes, of course. Surely every single day this must happen to a bunch of people. Like, is every single person who's used your customer someone who's used it since their granddaddy was born? I mean, no, fast food is a fairly new concept, but it happens to me like all the time. Just people being very inconvenienced by you being in a fairly normal situation. And it's funny because sometimes you even get this like making videos. Like I will do something in a way that is very slightly suboptimal, but actually better for me. And people are like, oh, you should have done it this way instead. Like, I feel like there's this just part of the human brain that feels some joy in being critical of others because it must imply that we are therefore good. And I wish that was something we didn't have. Also, don't know how I messed that one up. I guess this should be facing this way. There we go. Yep, easy fix. But yeah, basically every problem in life can be easily fixed if people are willing to like work on fixing it rather than going straight into critique mode. But yeah, we love going into critique mode, and so we do it basically all the time. Also, I really like this roof. It's very, very, very pink, and also very, very, very fun. But we must continue, and so we get another one of these super fast cuts. Okay, and now it's time to throw the roof on this bad boy, which is going to be kind of nice, okay, for a lot of reasons. So that's going to be the very, very top of the structure, and then we also need to work on this 3rd floor over here. And once we've done that, we'll have at least the externals done. Did you see that? Did you know you could walk through stairs? Is that normal? Are you meant to be able to do that? Is this is this a bug I've just found right here? It is! So very, very weird. You can just stand inside of stairs in the current update. Anyway, so Minecraft is filled with lots of fun exploits. Okay, I've got to stop because if I let myself get distracted by every Minecraft bug, then I'm going to be here for a very long time, aren't I? Anyway, this is going to be my final floor, which is where, the final top room will be, where the evoker will magically be able to live. But for now, as you can see, very easy, very fun. We just have to build a roof and a structure around this one, because this will be the floor level. So actually, I guess that means there's stairs over here too. This is a lot of stairs to go up, actually. That feels incorrect, but it must not be if this is going to be the top floor. Oh no, yeah, that is incorrect. This is straight onto where the bamboo should go, and it's lucky because I happen to have 0 bamboo on me. Can easily get my hands on some though to first of all patch in this gap, which probably shouldn't exist, and then finally to make a floor pan for this top floor. This is going to be a bit of a weird one because it looks like I'm kind of penned in by the walls around me, but I'll make this work regardless. So this, I can only go, the 1 block towards the edge here is where the walls will be. There's a wall over here. There is not a wall over here, so we'll expand the floor to be there instead. There is a wall right here, actually, so we can't have the... This is going to be a very, very tiny room, but that's totally fine. It's going to be 4 blocks by 4 blocks as a minimum. Then if we want, we can make it maybe an extra block over there, and an extra block over here, and then maybe an extra instead of that, this is going to be the size of the top floor. Okay, that's too tiny. One extra block everywhere. And now this is the size of our top little jutting out part of the mansion. Can we easily build that in? Let's find out. Okay, here we go. This is a very, very, very weird idea for a roof box, but it's technically going to work, I think. If we can just work out how this floor is going to connect into that. I think this probably has to be one block further up, and then it needs its own roof structure, which is going to go on top of all of this. So the good news is I have 8 cherry stairs. The bad news is I only have 8 cherry stairs. So it's going to be a little bit of a mess, but that is, you know, that's what I signed up for. It's what we're going to finish right here. And also, we're going to have to use some of these slabs to finish that roof to connect it into this. If this all works as planned, it will be beautiful. But will it work as planned? I sure hope so. So here's what my exterior looks like without the roof. And here it is after the roof. As you can see, it looks the same because you can't see the roof from this angle, besides through the windows, where you probably wouldn't be seeing it in the end. But yeah, it's starting to look like a real structure, right? Especially from the front. I think from the sides, it could probably do with some extra detail. There is more coming. But yeah, I really like the kind of official look you get when you add a roof to something, apparently. Wouldn't have expected that, but it's nice to see it anyway. Yay! So one of the most essential parts of this build is going to have to be a floor. If you just have random holes in the ground, or even worse, randomly placed grass blocks that don't make sense, like this room right here makes sense as a flower room, you could argue, with just a single tall grass, but the rest of this is a little bit trickier to argue, and so instead of arguing, we'll just place our bamboo planks wherever they need to be. This will handily give me some grass, which I really need for some other projects right now, so that's going to be nice. But perhaps more crucially than this, and even more crucially than the carpets, which are going to be absolutely delightful, a major part of this, is going to be walls. You can't have a mansion if you don't have walls. At least that is what my interior designer tells me. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build much higher up walls around the place, with the vague goal being that it actually looks like there are rooms back here. If we can achieve such a lofty aim, that is. The amount of cherry planks I'm placing into this is quite insane. I'm very lucky I spent so many hours destroying cherry groves, because this is like half of that entire forest just going into one structure, which is really, you know, that's a sign that those, you know, those pillagers, they don't just have the axes for show, they are using those for some serious benefit. I didn't realize how low on durability they must all be. They should have upgraded to netherite a long time ago. Anyway, as you can see, having these walls on the inside, hopefully, is going to make the whole place seem a bit more official. It's going to also add some darkness we definitely are going to want to address, because look at this room right here, but it is a good step for now, at least. If you want to see something absolutely insane, this mansion is so convincing that I actually had a whole pillager patrol spawn in here. That is something I am taking advantage of. I don't have any name tags with me. I didn't assume this was a likelihood, but if I could... Oh, I'm getting hit from... Did they walk all the way around to get me? I think they did. Oh, Jesus, guys. Not okay. Don't accept this. But as you can see, if I'd have just brought some name tags with me, I could have made this a step more authentic. Wow. That is truly incredible. I was just sitting there wondering why I couldn't sleep, and it turns out there was a very good reason. Oh, no, is he gonna despawn? I feel like that's what always happens with mobs. You get just a little bit too far away, and then they vanish with no... Like, where does he go? He walks off into the distance, and then... whatever, it's fine. So this is my mansion, as you can see, looking absolutely delightful to me. Just missing some lighting. You know, can you tell how it's missing some lighting, chat? But yeah, you can see it's missing some lighting, and it's also missing just a little bit of a few other things. Please let me sleep, game. I want to make the monsters go away by sleeping. You don't understand the dilemma you're putting me through here. Okay, yeah, this is far too common a problem for me to not fix, so I'm just gonna go around, I'm gonna place some torches on the sides of some of the entrances to various doors. That should be the biggest part of the problem solved, as far as I'm concerned. As you can see, the place is basically complete. There is next to nothing that really needs to be added to this whole mess. It is a very, very well completed building with absolutely zero flaws whatsoever, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. Hopefully all of you are too. But yeah, now we need to work on the most crucial bit, because what does a mansion need besides functioning floors and walls and reason for rooms? Well, I think you'll find it needs some accents. Just pure pink by itself is getting a little wild, and so a regular wooden mansion uses cobblestone, but we're going to be using endstone bricks. And so now we take some of these end brick walls and we just kind of place them around the building like so. Every 3 brick walls we place, we need to then move on to a real block, I believe, just to have some semblance of normalcy. Also, I think they should probably line up with these structures over here, or maybe we should just have 2 blocks between the 3 of these. Whichever way around we do it, it's going to result in something that looks like this. So now we go around the corner, and now let's speed place all of these. Oh no! There are just too many damn creepers in this damn jungle biome. Is it a jungle biome? I guess it's technically a flower plains of some form. Look at all these beautiful tulips. How did I never notice those were there before? Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so as you can see, the mansion's looking great. It just needs these end stone brick walls. One of the interesting things that I've noticed about modern day Minecraft YouTube, by the way, also can't believe 2 skeletons just fighting each other over here. One of the weird things I've noticed about modern day Minecraft YouTube is that it seems as though the modern trend is just every single person has to do something so unbelievable that it takes several weeks of their life and is clearly very, very fake for anyone to be like, wow, that's impressive. Like, it can't just be, oh yeah, I built this fun thing and it took me lots of resources. No, it's like, I built this fun thing, it took me every resource I had. Also, I had to set up some ridiculously, like OP farm. Also, I had to go back several versions of Minecraft. For some reason, every popular Minecraft video nowadays is like, yeah, I have this secret technique to get something, and that secret technique is called going back to a snapshot version where a bug that wasn't meant to exist existed. And it's like, at that point, just go into creative, man. Like, if you're going through so much effort to abuse a Minecraft bug that was in a development version of Minecraft only, you're basically saying, yeah, I will make up my own rules. And it's kind of annoying to me because I feel as though that, I've seen a lot of people, I've seen people complain like, wow, why is it that Minecraft YouTubers that I watch are all starting to talk down to people like their children? Is this, why are they aging down their audience? But I think what it actually is just sometimes you age and some stuff you watch. This is the second time I've fallen in this hole. I think sometimes an interesting thing happens. Also, it probably is easier to do this from above. Sometimes something interesting that happens is that you age, and the content that you watch stays catering to the same audience. And so it creates this weird juxtaposition of like, yeah, maybe when you were a few years old, the Teletubbies was aimed at you, but the Teletubbies isn't now, like going on gangster raps and swearing and whatever else it is that is cool and modern, but instead the Teletubbies is the same. It's still about that baby that is in the sun, and it's all the same stuff it's always been. Also, I think I'm gonna have a window back here, although it doesn't make much sense having a big end stone thing around the window, but we're just gonna go for it anyway. We're just gonna believe in ourselves, as you always should do, and this looks absolutely terrible. We shouldn't have believed in ourselves. But yeah, it's the weird trend is to make things that are very fake and over the top. But I've always believed that that is a temporary game, because as much as in the same way that, like, yeah, you could technically make a video that's really good for people who are age 7. There are only so many 7-year-olds in the world. Eventually they'll age out of it. At some point, almost every, especially YouTuber that aims at like an audience like that, eventually goes, oh, actually, maybe this isn't what I necessarily want. But it's often like too late by the time people realize. And in the same way, I think the sort of YouTuber who is very, very busy making videos that very much aim at just, this like very sensationalized fake version of things might just realize that, oh, actually, yeah, I would like to make content that is actually real. I would like to share things. That's what YouTube originally was. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe YouTube goes the way of Hollywood, where you would never watch a movie or a TV show that doesn't say reality TV and expect it to be real. And if you watched a reality TV show, which is meant to be real, and expect that to be real, you would also be an idiot, right? Like anything that comes out of a mass, market where people make their livelihood from it, you can just kind of expect logically, without really, with very, very few exceptions, none of it is going to be real. Even stuff that's based on real things, like, have you ever watched documentaries nowadays? They have to dramatize and imagine, like, whoa, imagine what it would be like if this were true, though, because reality isn't interesting to enough people, it seems, which is a great shame. Also, where do I put the block here? I guess I'll just have 2 go over that. Yep, that seems great to me. And so now this little end stone ring is going to add a little bit of texture to, oh yeah, it looks kind of rough. I think we should also have the slab ring going around the base, maybe. We'll see if that helps a little bit. Just to have, like, something around here. Yeah, I think that's a nice little something. Just to give it a little bit more depth and character on the bottom. These slabs should occasionally be stairs, if I'm not mistaken. So, at the front here, maybe just over here to the right of these, we have 2 of these turn into stairs. See? It's slightly more interesting, right? And we just do this enough times in enough places. So we'll remove this block now, place one over there. If we do this enough times, we should eventually end up with something which is quite nice. But yeah, I think the problem with fakeness is there's only so much of it in the world before people stop. But maybe that's just me. Something which I think is fun is, you ever go to search an image on Google and it's that like fake transparent JPEG thing, right? Or it's like it's got those black and white squares. It's pretending to be transparent for reasons I genuinely couldn't tell you what the benefit to them is, but maybe they get more traffic if you think it's a transparent image, but or maybe like you have to go download it, you'll spend more time with them. But this technique has been around forever, and yet still it is somewhat popular. People are still using it. People are still falling for it. And so maybe, rather than me saying, yeah, I really like what I've made here, I've got a giant thing that really needs some work, maybe instead of that, it'd be better if I said to people, actually, no, look at me, switch into creative, finish the thing, and just pretend. I mean, how many of you are going to download my world? I mean, there is an update to it coming out soon. Is authenticity really worth anything in the modern age? Is a question I don't know the answer to. But it is a question that I ask myself a lot, and I hope the answer is it has something, because that is something I always want to bring to Minecraft. This is actually how I'm playing the game, and what the heck are the odds of me getting a second pillager patrol, by the way? This is a weird world. This is a very weird world, and I wish I got a name tag, because imagine how cool it would be to have some of those guys in here. This is, anyway, yeah, my real thing here is I'm going away for a week now. I'm not going to be able to play Minecraft to finish this, and as much as I want to finish this structure, right now is not the time, sadly. So I have myself a really cool concept for a cherry mansion, but I'd love to see what you can do by making this into a reality. If you're watching this and you think that you love this structure, but you think you could do way better, there's some obvious idea that I've missed, I would love to see what you can make from this idea. Make a custom mansion out of cherry or any other wood, and I would love to see it. Send it to me on Twitter, send it to me on the Reddit, send it to me wherever you can, because I love to see what you can do. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video, because I'll see you in the next Let's Play, next Monday, I hope. I'm currently hopefully having a very good time, or I'm dead somewhere in French-speaking Canada, and so wish me luck. Or, send me good wishes. Goodbye!